Welcome to Ask the Admin by Ide Bailey. Today, I'm Frederick Barron. I'm a technical architect with Ide Bailey, and I'm joined today by John Jones, a solution architect for Ide Bailey. As we go through this webinar, if you have any questions for us, you can ask them in the questions box, and we will answer those throughout the webinar. Or if you have a microphone and you would like to tell us your questions, you can raise your hand, and we will open up your microphone. We'd love to hear your questions. We're here to help you out and answer anything that you have, any questions that you may have. So our itinerary today, this is going to be an interactive webinar. We are going to be asking some questions. We will be answering any questions that you have. We're building on previous work. When we started a couple of months ago, we started with a brand new org, and we've been building it out for a fictional company. You can follow along. If you've missed previous weeks, you can view those weeks on our YouTube channel. And again, we're here to answer your questions. So whether it has to do with our topic today or not, you can ask those questions. If we can't answer them today, we'll answer those questions next week in next week's Ask the Admin. So the company that we've been building our org out for is called Universal Boxes. They're a subsidiary to Universal Containers. And what they do is they manufacture boxes and shipping containers for customers all over the world. Now, John, we're not hearing your audio. It looks like we might be having some technical difficulties. All right, well, John gets his audio fixed there. Let's talk a little bit about what it is that we're trying to do. So we have a couple of different things. We've got sales and support, and we are trying to get information from a website into Salesforce so that our reps can use it. Looks like John's still having some problems. So we'll go ahead and continue here.
All right. Sorry about that. I'm back. My audio went completely out. I apologize for that. Okay. So as Fred was saying, we're looking at these couple of scenarios for sales and support, bringing things from the website into Salesforce. For the setup for Web to Salesforce, there's two options. We've got Web to Lead and Web to Case. Under the setup, you go to Setup Leads and Web to Lead, or Setup and Self-Service or Case and Web to Case for that one. The setup is very similar between the two. It's almost identical. And so we're going to show you how to do one, and you just replicate that same process for the other one as we go through this today. If you are going to be testing in your sandbox, keep in mind when you generate these code out of the sandbox, it will be pointed to your production system. And so you'll need to do these changes in order to make it go to your sandbox for sandbox testing. And it's just a matter of changing the URL from www.salesforce to test.salesforce.com. and also pulling in your org ID for the sandbox so that it knows where it's going. Before we go into the options here, let's go ahead and jump in and look at how to generate the code. We're going to go up to Setup, and we're going to go do Web to Lead. And you'll see here the first thing you'll have to do is make sure it's enabled. And then there's a button to create a Web to Lead form. So we're going to hit this. And it wants to know what fields do you want to pull over. So you can go through and with the lead or the case, whichever one you're setting up, pull over any fields that you want on your form into the right-hand box and put them in whatever order you would like them to be in. You can also specify a return URL. So when people submit your form, where do you want them to go at that point? Once you've got that set up the way you want it, you just hit generate. And then you're going to get this screen here. Now what you'll do here is I'm using Control A, and I'm going to copy this code out of this window here. This is HTML code that can be used to generate your form. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up a text program here. I'm going to paste that code. And I'm going to save this. And in this case, I'm actually going to save it as an HTML file. So you'll see here it's pretty simple. You've just got some very basic data. You've got a couple of fields up here that are marked as a type of hidden, which means they don't show up on the form, but they're there. And then here's all your other fields. So you'll see they're showing up in the same order that you had them listed. And then a submit button. So I'm going to pop over to my desktop and grab this file. And this is what it looks like. Very simple, very basic. There's no styling with this code straight out of Salesforce. That's for your web team to do. So the concept is you generate the web form, you send the file that you just created to your web team, and they can style it and format it whatever they want, post it onto your website, and you're ready to go. But saving it in this format initially gives us a chance to test the form itself and make sure it works. So we're just going to fill it out here real quick. Submit. You'll see it's redirecting me to salesforce.com like I told it to. And now when I go to my leads, we'll see we should have a new lead here that just came in from today. There it is. Find the right one. There it is, right there. So that tells us our form is working. So some different options that you can do with these forms. You can use hidden fields. So you see there was a couple of hidden fields there, but you can add more hidden fields to your form. And this can be good for different reasons. If you're running campaigns or promotions, or you have some sort of a special deal going, you can build a new form. You can put a hidden field in there with the campaign ID, and then post that to a different place on your website and direct people to it through marketing. What's going to happen there is anybody that submits a lead through that form, that lead will automatically be attached to the campaign that you put into that form. So that's one use case that you could use that for. You could do the same thing with support tickets. If you've got different levels of support, you can have different pages where people can submit support tickets, and depending on which page they submit through, it can mark something on the case to designate where they came from, what type of support they're seeking. So some different options that you can do there. And formatting that is pretty simple. Right here, we're just going to copy this line here. You would mark it as campaign ID, and the value, you would then paste the ID of the actual campaign that you want to send it to. Save it, send that form off, and it's ready to go. And you can do that for anything. So the name here is just simply the field that you're going to fill in on the lead or the case, and then the value is what value do you want to put there. Another option that you can do for web to Salesforce is Visualforce Pages with sites. We're not going to go into a lot of detail on that right now, but you can build out Visualforce Pages, and then using sites, you can make those pages public and have that fill in. When you go that route, it opens up a lot more options as to what you can do, what fields are there, what you can post. So there's some different things that can happen with that. So web to Salesforce is pretty basic, pretty simple. Do we have any questions at this point?
Okay, John, one of the questions is about the form and publishing the org ID, which spammers can use to spam. So what kind of solutions would you have for that? And I think I'm actually going to take this one. This is more of the development side.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what we've done with some of our clients is we've actually moved that org ID server side. We've moved all of that, the sensitive information server side. So the form posts to the server, and in turn the server posts back to Salesforce. That way you can keep that org ID from being shown to spammers. And that's one of the ways that you can fix that. Again, that's on the development side. Your web developers would need to handle that. Excellent question. Thank you.
Yeah, and another thing you can also do is have your web team put CAPTCHAs on your web form, so they can't submit it until they've filled in whatever CAPTCHA type function you decided to put on there as well, and that'll also help keep your spam down on those forms. Yes, great question. Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions?
Can you hear me? Is my microphone working?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. the other question is, what objects can forms populate into?
So for these basic functions, this is only for leads and cases, is all that Salesforce supports a direct function like this where they generate the code for you. If you're using a Visualforce page, you could program that to go into just about anything you would want. That does require more development, but it does open up your possibilities of what can be used. Another great question. Thank you. I'm just pulling up the web-to-case HTML generator just to show one option that cases have is this visible in SelfService Portal. If you're using the SelfService Portal, then this is one option that you can turn on to have that case show up in there. You can also turn that off so that they submit the case and it doesn't show up in there. But other than that, it's the same as the web-to-lead setup.
We've got some more questions coming in, and I just want to let you know we will get to your questions, and we will be answering some more questions a little bit later in the presentation. So we will get to those questions during this webinar.
Wonderful. Yes, thank you. Okay, go ahead with some of the other questions that we've got now.
Okay, Kyle is asking, are the forms intended to be website-based, or could you incorporate them into an email?
These are website-based forms. If you're wanting to do this via email, then you're looking more at the email to Salesforce functionality that we covered last week. And that video has been posted to our channel that you could go take a look at. Email to Salesforce is another great tool to use and to set up, and it's not very complicated either. It goes up pretty quick.
All right. Neil is asking, what about mapping fields like the campaigns and lead source to opportunities when converting the lead? How would we make sure that our leads are mapping to the right campaigns and the right opportunities?
So when you're doing lead conversion, that's all done. Let's go ahead and jump over and take a look at lead conversion real quick. When you come under your customize here, we'll go to the lead fields. And there's a map lead fields option here. And this will let you designate. Now you can only map a field off of a lead to one item, which can go to it can go to an account, a contact, or an opportunity. But you can map those over. So if you've got a lead attached to a campaign, when you convert that lead, the opportunity will stay attached to the campaign that the lead was on. So it'll just convert the lead to a contact and an opportunity, and both of those will be attached to the campaign that the lead was originally on. So it doesn't break that connection. That's automatic for you. Any other field mapping you would do within this field mapping here. Now, I have had plenty of clients come up and say, well, that's great, but I actually need some of this data to map to both the account and the opportunity. So how do I handle that with lead conversion? So in that case, you're looking at the lead mapping with a process builder behind the scenes. And generally what we'll do is the lead mapping here will be done to the account and the contact, and then we'll use a process builder that fires when an opportunity is created to pull information off of the account and contact to populate the opportunity.
All right, we've got some fantastic questions today. This next one, I think I'm going to take this. Dustin is asking, if you were using Visualforce Pages, are we required to have communities? And the answer to that is no. You can actually do a site.com, and you can create public-facing Visualforce pages through your site.com license. Now the good news is that if you have the Developer, Enterprise, Unlimited, and Performance editions, you have a site.com license already. So you can set that up for using the Visualforce Pages. And let's see, we've got next week, we will schedule sometime in August, we will address that more of how to set up that site.com, and we'll let you know the date on that. In August, our format is going to change a little bit. We're going to go more to question-based. We're going to be asking for things that you are trying to solve as an admin or a developer in Salesforce, and we're going to be addressing those issues and helping you work through them on our Ask the Admin. So August, we're going to have a brand new format. It's going to be really exciting, and we will definitely get to how to use the Visualforce Pages with the web forms in August.
Absolutely. That's a really great question. Thank you for that.
Okay, John, I'm going to send this one over to you. Is it possible to use web to lead capability to pull info resident in Salesforce to a web page for the person to verify and or edit, and then use the edits to update Salesforce?
Let me run through that again to make sure I fully understand the question there. So you're looking at having a form where they're basically editing their own contact information. And the answer to that would be Visualforce. The web to lead and web to case forms will not pre-populate with anything dynamic out of Salesforce. You can have values pre-populate, but that's going to be static. It's not going to be any type of dynamic setup. You can use a Visualforce page and your sites, like we've been talking about, to pre-populate forms for clients so that they can update existing data in the system. Another thing that we have done for some companies is some automatic duplicate catching on our side. So we set up a web to lead form, and then inside Salesforce, we've got an automatic check set up every time a lead is created. And we've done this with a combination of visual flows and some Apex code. So when the lead is created, it automatically checks the existing leads and contacts for possible duplicates. And if we find a match, then we merge that new lead into either the existing lead, or we'll just convert it straight over to the contact and potentially create a new opportunity and put those in a queue or a list view for the sales team to start working off of, to see that, oh, this is an existing contact that's reaching out to us again. We need to touch base with them. So that's another way that you can use those forms to update existing data in the system. It's just with some automation on your back end.
All right, and I think this is going to be our last question for today. Are there any white papers that take site.com and Visualforce capabilities into a deeper dive that you can recommend? Salesforce has a great deal of training available, both white papers, the Trailhead. If you haven't been on the Trailhead, I highly recommend that, especially if you want to look into the Visualforce and the site.com. I would have to, I don't know the pages off the top of my head, but we can definitely research that and let you know. Send you some links that you can do a little bit more research on your own on that. All right. Thank you very much for your participation today. We had some excellent questions, and we will be back again next week. And what is our topic next week?
You know, I didn't have that pulled up.
Well, we will be back next week with another topic. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what we have planned for next week. We'll have to pull up our schedule.
Also, watch your emails. I believe you will still be on the same mailing list, so you'll see that topic come through in your email too.